If you've been trying to sell on Amazon, you already know that the hardest part is trying to figure out if a product is actually worth buying. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to use Keepa to stop guessing and make good purchases. If you're new here, I'm Jack, I'm 25, and I sell full-time on Amazon. So with that being said, let's get right into this full Keepa tutorial video. So now that we're looking at the screen here, what you're going to want to do first is come to keepa.com, sign up for an account, pay for the monthly subscription, which is only $20 a month. Once you have your account set up, you come over to the Google Chrome store and install the Keepa extension. Once you have both of those things done, you can come to any Amazon product page, and when you're looking at the page at the top, you just scroll underneath the product images and details, and you're going to see these three charts right here. The first chart is going to show us price history and demand. The second one is not helpful to us at all because it's just a more detailed version of this green line in here. So we can go ahead and turn this off just by clicking on the sub ranks button here, and it will completely go away. The bottom chart is going to show us the offer count history, which is basically just your competition on each individual product. So to go through these one by one, we're just going to turn all these off by clicking on them. And as I was saying, the green line is the demand. So it's also called the sales rank, which is going to show you the popularity of this product on Amazon.com compared to all of the rest of the products in a similar category. The next one is going to be the buy box, which is the pink line. Whenever you open an Amazon page, if you've ever shopped on Amazon before, you're going to see on the right-hand side, there's going to be a box over here that says the price, and it's going to have an add to cart button and a buy now and a seller's name. That is what we call the buy box. So this is tracking the history of that price. If it ever goes up, you'll see it shoot up here. If it ever goes down, you'll follow it down and be able to see that just by hovering over these graphs. You'll be able to see all of the numbers respective to each line at this current date, which is April 24th here. You can see underneath the chart, and it will follow through the rest of April 24th, change to the 25th, 26th, so on. This next one is going to be Amazon. If they were in stock, it's going to show for how long and their price, which for the last 3 months, it hasn't been in stock at all for their listing. But if we go down to the bottom here, we can change the time frame of what it's showing us in this graph. If you wanted to see just the last month, it will zoom in to just the last month from the current date that you're at. And if you want to see the year in the past, you can see that, as well as the all time for this list, which in the all time, we can see that Amazon did have stock here, and it shows us this thicker, like yellow tan box in there, which if you ever want to also see a more detailed version of the past history further than 3 months, you can just click and hold and drag the selection that you want to make, release that, and it will zoom in on just that specific time frame. So we can see here that Amazon did have stock, they ran out. They came back in stock, they ran out again for maybe this 1 month that they had stock. In order to get back to where we were, we just click on the 3 months and it will bring us right back to that. The next one is going to be the new offers that are not in the buy box. So this is everybody else on the listing, and usually it will most of the times line up, but sometimes it won't. Like you can see in here, there's a little gap, 64.94 to 64. And then the same goes for the new third-party FBA, which is just price changes in the offers. And those are going to be these orange triangles here. Again, most of the time they do line up. Sometimes they won't, but when you're looking for consistency in pricing, you're going to want them to line up. The last one in here is going to be the new third-party FBM, which is merchant fulfilled offers, which we don't really need at all to ever pay attention to because they're not really our competition. If you're shipping in FBA, you have Prime shipping, and they don't. So most people are going to be more inclined to purchase from you because they're going to get their order faster, even if the FBM party is cheaper. The bottom graph, same thing goes, just tracking the offer count. Like you can see here, April 5th, 2 offers, April 12th, 9 offers, and then it dropped back down April 14th. That's all it is to this chart. You just want to see fluctuation down here, see that offers are moving. This is a good example of something that we would assume sells a lot based off this data because offers are coming in and out so fast. The next tab is going to be tracking the product price. If you say, for example, have a product that you needed this price on Amazon that was showing here at 59 to be at 61, 62 for it to be profitable for you to purchase, you can come into this tab and put the price into this box. Click on start tracking for however long you want it to track that item, and it will send you an email when the price gets to whatever value you've put into this box, which not a lot of new sellers know about. So they miss out on a lot of deals because it might not be profitable today, but the price could change within 2 days, 3 days, maybe next week or a month down the line. And maybe you didn't save the link for it, or you just haven't gone back and looked at it in time. This is going to automatically notify you when that happens. The next tab, data, is going to show you the product details first, which this left box is not really that important to us. The right box is going to be what we want to look at. So this is going to show us breakdowns of the averages of the sales rank for 30, 60, 90, 100, 365 days. Same thing with the buy box. And then it's also going to show us down here, Amazon, if they've been out of stock for the last 90 days, their lowest price, their highest price. Not most of the time you're going to need that, because when you're new, you're going to want to stay away from listings that Amazon is on. You just don't really want to have them as competition. But the other two are going to be really important because you can tell how consistent the price has been just by looking at these numbers instead of the graph. But the graph is what we normally use. So for this one, you can see that it has been very consistent for the last year on the averages from 68 a year ago to 67 today. Same thing with the sales rank. You can tell if it has gotten less popular over time, more popular over time, and make a buying decision based off of that data influence there. The offers tab is going to show you a couple things that are important that you might want to take a look at. First, it's going to show you the price that each individual seller has that listed at. For each different row here is a different seller. You're going to see if they have Prime shipping, or if they don't, like this third one. That's going to tell you that either a seller is FBA or FBM most of the time. And then it's going to tell you their condition you don't need. It's going to show you also their price history to see where they were pricing their products at over time. You can also just go here and change the graph ranges. So it was set on 90, then I clicked on 30 and it zoomed it in to the last 30 days. You can go even farther out if you want, or all time, or even the last week. But we typically want to look at either 30 or 90 days. But that also correlates with the stock history here. So you can probably make the assumption that this guy wasn't selling a lot at 88 because his stock stayed the same. But then as his price lowered down after a while, he started to sell out of his units. This stock column here is not something that is going to be very accurate all the time, because there is a way that you can manipulate these numbers almost by setting a maximum order quantity for how many a customer can purchase at once. So if you wanted them to only be able to purchase 3 at once, then it's only going to show 3 here. But this guy, if he had that set up, he might have 40, 50, 60 units of this product in his stock, but it's only going to show you 3. So I wouldn't worry about that too much. The rest of it is going to just be the sold, and then the sold in 30 days, which you could sort by if you want to maybe storefront stock these people that sold the most units on a listing to find other good profitable products. It's going to show you Prime if they have it, if it's FBA or merchant fulfilled, which we were saying the third guy there that didn't have Prime shipping was most likely merchant fulfilled, which is the case because there's no check mark here in the FBA column. Then it's going to have their name of their seller store. If you wanted a storefront stock, it's going to show you how long ago they were last seen on the listing and when they were first seen. 2 months ago versus 34 days. And you could also even include historical offers if you wanted to and see other people's stores that have sold this product if you are going through and sourcing that way. The last important part of this tab, the data tab, is going to be the buy box statistics, which is going to show you, again, in ranges of days, whatever you choose, it's going to show you the percentage of the buy box that each seller that's active on the listing has won the listing. So 59.59, this seller has won the buy box 24% of the time in the last 30 days. This one had 16, 14, and so on down the list. When you go to 30 or 90 days, it is going to show you other sellers that are not in stock. As you can see, the list gets longer and longer and longer. But why this is important is because this is going to help you price your products correctly. So you could go ahead and price it at $59 because they want it the most, but you can see here, $64 has won all of these sellers the buy box, which is going to add up to a lot more than 24% of the time. So you could realistically price your product at $64 in this range and get sales at that price instead of getting less profit at 59. Because in this list for the last 30 days, there's only one other person at $58 around that range that won it 3% of the time. So this is really where you would want to be pricing your product at. The only other helpful information in this is going to tell you FBA right here if they were actually one of your competitors that you need to pay attention to, and it will just give you a last one date as well if you wanted to see that instead of day frame or minute frame. The buy box use statistics is completely useless because we're not selling anything used, so you don't ever have to pay attention to that. The variations tab is going to show you all of the colors and sizes individually that are on this listing. So as you can see here, there's a lot of them in this listing. It's not just one size and color for this product page. So this is helpful because if you have one variation or size/color that is profitable for you, your supplier most likely has other sizes and colors of this same product. So say you were profitable at the $42 range, you could probably be profitable at 40 as well, 41, 50, 44 definitely, and so on. So you can come in and find other good sizes that are selling well just by looking at the buy box history here, making sure it's consistent, and then the offer count here, making sure that people are actually selling out of this product, meaning that it's selling well. You could sort by the current price, lowest to highest, highest to lowest, if you wanted to get it in that specific price range. Like maybe you had a cutoff of 41, then you could scroll down and say, okay, everything from this product upwards, if it's the same model that they have available or a different model, then you could sell these products depending on these charts and doing your additional product research, making sure that everything's okay. But this is a really easy way to find other good selling products on the same page as what you've already got. If you want to, you can sort by ratings, which can kind of insinuate and tell you that how good a product is selling compared to other ones, because if this product has 13,000 reviews on this specific size and gray color, then there must have been a lot of orders of this product over time to be able to get that many reviews. All right, so let's take a look at some of these product examples now that we know how to use this software and every detail that it has. We're going to start with some of the red flags first of things that you want to stay away from. For one, this product, as you can tell, is trending downward very quickly, and the offer count is going up very fast as well. So you'll usually see a correlation in between those two things: seller count rising, offer price going down. If you see something like this that is trending downwards, even if you are profitable at this price, you're probably going to want to stay away from it. Maybe keep an eye on it for a while before you go ahead and buy it, but you just don't want to get into a situation where If this does continue to trend down over the next couple of months when you have stock, and you might not be profitable anymore within a matter of weeks, and it does take time for your products to check into the warehouses. So maybe by the time that you got your products into the warehouses, you're not profitable anymore, and then you're going to lose money. It's just not something that you want to take the risk on and have that situation possibly happen. But you can see here, this sales rank is insanely low and has stayed that low for a long time. So this is a very fast moving product, especially because it's within 3 digits. Under 1,000 is an insanely low sales rank for a product. The next one is going to be very volatile and not a consistent price at all. You can see the buy box shooting up here very quickly, a lot. And if you're analyzing a product like this, because it does have good seller movement down here, so it is selling really well, except for maybe this part, that's a little concerning, but we'll get into those kind of things. One example of that in a little bit. You're going to want to always make sure that you are profitable at the bottom price, because the bottom price is staying very consistent here. But it's just going upwards. So you don't ever want to bank on getting the price that's up here or these new offers here, because you're not guaranteed to get that price for your purchases. But if you are profitable at this 96 number down here, you could attempt to sell this product because you would make money at 96. And then you would just make more if your buy box shot up to here as well, like these people. But you don't ever want to buy a product hoping that you're going to get the 112 and that's where you're profitable at only. And 96, you're not, because at that point, you're definitely losing money. If it's almost a $20 difference on the sale price, your margin is not usually going to be that big on a lot of your products. So just always make sure that you're good at this price, which is normally referred to as the floor price. As long as you're good at the floor price, you can always go up, but you can't go down. The third one is also the same type of thing, volatile sales price, but this one has maybe a deeper floor price here a couple months ago, and it did reach back down here not too long ago. So again, just always make sure you're good at the floor price. I would even check this $20 price here just to make sure. If I'm not good at the $20 price, I probably wouldn't want to sell it because it has reached down there and there's no like for sure guarantee that it's not going to go back down there for good. But if you look at the history, it might maybe influence you in a different way because it hasn't really reached that low except for here. But overall, this is just trending downward. It has gone up a little bit here because most of these sellers sold out. But this seems to be a very popular product that a lot of sellers can get to. So since this is the case of just trending downward completely for the last year, maybe not such a good product to invest in. The next one is going to show us that Amazon has been in stock for the last 3 months completely, and since September. So that's a long time for them to be in stock. As a new seller, you're probably going to want to avoid something like this, but you can see that there are a lot of people competing here. There's upwards of 25 offers on this listing at one point, and people are selling out. So it's not like it's an unprofitable product or not a good purchase to make. But as a new seller, especially, you just don't want to compete with Amazon because they have so much control over their products. They could cut the price like they just did here at any point, going from 74 to 56. But when you're doing a product like this, you're going to want to check the data tab and the buy box statistics, because here you can see how much they dominate the buy box and if anybody is actually getting a share of that, which in the last 30 days, they've had 93% of the buy box owned, and only one person has got 5%, 1%, less than 1%. So this probably isn't a very good sign that you're going to sell a lot of units of this product if they have 93% of the buy box taken. And you can go out more within 90 to 180 days. They had 81% consistently, and 365 went down because they were out of stock from September before that in the last year range. So that's the kind of research that you're going to want to look at if you are interested in selling products that Amazon is on as well. But most of these people that got the buy box probably had to cut their price down this low as well. So if you're looking at an Amazon product, you wouldn't want to see this chart and then say, oh, okay, I can sell this at 74 because all the new offers and new third-party FBA are at 74. You're going to want to have some room to fall down a little bit. Maybe check this price and see if you're good at this 64, or maybe even just check how far your bottom is and then make sure that you're good at that, because as you can see here, it went lower than this 64 in the future. So as a new seller, it's probably just not a good idea to get involved in something like this. The next one is also an Amazon product, but this was more to show a offer count that you're going to want to stay away from. If you see something like this where it's consistent, just one across the board, or just not moving at all, like this second person came in and they still haven't sold out, even though it's only been a couple days, maybe a week or so. This is just not selling. If Amazon wasn't in stock on here and you saw this, it's definitely not selling. This could be consistent just because it's Amazon in stock and they have had so many units of stock that they just haven't sold out yet, and they'll never sell out on this product maybe, because it looks like they have been the only one dominating this, except for when they sold out for this period of time in September, and then nobody was even on it before that for the last year. So if you see a chart that just has no movement in the offer count, just don't bother purchasing it because it's not selling. If it was a regular seller that had this one as well, they would sell out at some point. So if the chart looks like this, and this is a normal seller, not Amazon, you don't want to get into this product because they would sell out. They don't have an infinite number of units that they can supply. There's going to be delays in maybe inbound shipments for getting their products into the warehouse that would cause them to go out of stock for even a day or so. Their factors of just not having enough units, like I was saying, are going to make this go away and have a gap here. So no movement in the offer count you don't want at all. This one is going to be an example of what an IP complaint can look like. So an IP complaint is when a brand is going to send out notifications to sellers and say that they can't sell their products anymore and just basically remove them from the listing. And when you see a gap down like this has happened, this is exactly what that's going to look like. Going from 57 offers to 29 in the span of just 45 minutes or 35 minutes. There's no way that many people are selling out of a product that quickly, which this is a Nike product. And recently Nike did kick a lot of sellers off being able to sell their products after they hard gated their brand. So that is what happened here, but it's the same type of process as an IP complaint works. So if you see something like this and it's not a Nike product, you're probably going to want to be a little more cautious of that product and maybe not sell it at all, because you don't want an IP complaint on your account. Other than that, this isn't a bad product because you can see the consistency here. In the last 3 months, completely straight at the bottom. It only ducked under it here for like a couple hours. And the rest of it, all these new offers coming in at 27, 28, 29. If you're good at 22, you're definitely good at 27. And you can even check the buy box statistics here through the last 90 days since it was in that 3-month range there. Not many people getting it up there, 2% here. But we didn't see the pink line for the buy box go up there either. So you wouldn't necessarily expect to see that reflected down here in this chart. But being that a lot of people the seller count is going up and down a lot, means that sellers are selling out. So you could go for the 23 and then set your repricer to make it go up to 29, potentially get sales at 29 if this many people are pricing it up at that range. But no guarantee that you're going to get that. So always make sure you're good at the floor price. The next one, this is going to be an example of what potential price tanking can look like, because you can see that the offer count is slowly going up over time and the price is slowly going down over time. Again, correlation between those two charts usually happens when there's a big spike like this. When it's going up and down consistently, not much is changing here, and it is going and reaching back up there. But when it's not going down in turn, that's when price starts to go down. So if you see something that is looking like maybe this here, where it's just straight up here, probably wouldn't want to buy into a product like that, because you can assume that it's going to continue to go down. It just kind of goes one in one most of the times. They follow each other in that respect. The last product is going to be pretty much an ideal chart that you want to see, because this is just completely straight over here on the top. And then on the bottom, sellers are consistently going up and down and up and down and up and down all the way through this chart. There's no huge spikes without a little drop like this. It's not just ending here at this point. This is on the way down, and it's just good fluctuation through the bottom and an insanely straight across chart for the price. Like I was saying, guys, this is one of the most important softwares for your Amazon business. If you guys have any questions about Keepa, let me know down below. If you're interested in starting or growing your Amazon business, definitely check out the link in my description. Make sure you subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys in the next video.